Tampa Bay Spirits presents Haunted Campfire Tales live. Welcome. Gather around the fire. Get comfortable, but not too comfortable. The true ghost tales are about to unfold.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Joan.
I'm Les.
I'm Beth.
I'm Joy.
I'm Robin.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Christy.
There we go.
Welcome to the show, Christy.
Thank you.
Hi, Paul. Paul Hollis says, Happy Halloween, Team Spirits. Happy Halloween to you,
Happy
too.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Marjorie Deering. Hi, everyone.
Marjorie.
Hi, Marjorie.
Hi, Marjorie. Are you guys freezing where you are? I bet they are.
Both of them.
George will be on later, but he had something to do until 8 o'clock our time.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Joe is up to...
Oh, yeah, Joe had surgery. So. How are you doing, buddy? Hello. Well, we have a special guest tonight, and you can see that her name is Christy Byers from the Unfiltered Coffee House, and she came on because we did an investigation at her coffee shop and bookstore recently. And so we thought it would be fun if she came on and told you some of the things that she's experienced there, which we're looking forward to hearing too. So, Christy, what has been some of the activity that you've had there?
Well, it's been interesting. I will say, you hear oh, hey, that building could be haunted, or, but you really don't think about it or think it's real until you see things. And we have a few things that have been caught on camera, like just our regular, coffee house cameras that we have. We had, oh gosh, there was a vase that it was a round ball. It's very heavy, old antique vase that was sitting on top of just a small little crunchy ice machine, like the Chick-fil-A ice, the good stuff. And those don't move. Those don't vibrate. Those don't, move a lot because they're not making a lot of ice. The vase, and I have it on camera, it's hilarious, but the vase actually jumped twice to the edge and then flew off. So that was one.
Cool.
Oh, it's been interesting. And then there was my husband, myself, and we have a 9-year-old. We're there a lot on Sundays just to, do the inventory, make sure things are ready for the week. I have this cabinet that I bought, and it's one of those where the door opens and it's a desk. It can also be used as a desk. And that locks. So it's old. I like old stuff. And, it locks, and then you pull the key out and it's completely locked. So we were sitting, my husband and my son were sitting on the couch. I was at the counter, and the door, just fully locked, fell open. And that's on camera. That was interesting.
Wow.
And it was still locked. I mean, there's no way it could have just done that on its own. I think the one that got me the most, though, the most recent one that I kind of told Steve about was, and I showed him, I got a mirror. I also do real estate. So I go in homes, sometimes, and people are like, oh, take this for your coffee shop. It's a beautiful antique round mirror. And I put it upstairs because that's where it felt like it should be. And it's over an elevator shaft. So the elevator shaft is open down to the bottom floor. And of course, before I put it up, I cleaned it. It's very heavy. I had my husband hang it up there. The ledge is about, I would say, a foot wide. And recently we've had 2 very small handprints appear on the very top of the mirror. They're not, adult size handprints. They're very small. I would say like preschool size handprints, if that makes sense. And they're up at the top of the mirror. There's no way that a child could have gotten in a locked gate and walked around a foot wide ledge and reached the top of the mirror. So of course being kind of skeptic I am, I had my husband, I was like, hold your arms over, this ledge, over this gate, and let's see, if you had a child that small, could a child just reach out and put their handprints on this mirror? And there's no way. It's too far out over that hole. And what parent would really do that? So that one's been fun. We've had random just music come on at times. That I have an old record player, one that cranks, to use, and it still works. And it plays the old records from the 20s that I love. And there have been occasions where that would randomly just come on, and then when you go to check on it or walk towards the record player, it just stops. So it's, just things like that. It's been interesting. I'll tell you that. So.
Do you want to speak to the history of the building at all?
Sure. Yeah. So we in our city in Bartow, the buildings are very old. And I'm kind of a history nerd, so I love this. I found out from a friend who actually does kind of a historic ghost stroll. He spoke with a local historian that has all the records and paperwork. So this building was originally a hardware store in 1895. And I guess there was a family that lived there. It's really strange to me, and it's kind of hard to believe, but it's in the records. I mean, it's all on document. So they had a daughter, and her name was Chrissy. And she was redhead. She had red hair. That was long and curly and red. My hair is actually curly if I don't straighten it every single day. And it's I don't know. I don't know if that's, connected. I don't know. I don't feel anything bad there. And, but things do happen often. So things have happened with my employees. I have one employee that, I don't know. It seems like I don't know. I'm kind of interested to hear what you guys say. I'm really interested. They like her. She talks all the time. She's like, hey, so it's.
We lost
They
Les
lost
and
their
Beth.
they lost their
We
internet.
did.
Oh
We did.
no.
So when we first walked in, I had a male presence walking behind me, and I know that it's your male presence. I used to be a redhead. I was a natural redhead,
I love
and
it.
now that I am old and decrepit, I have white hair, but
You are
it's
not.
still
Your hair
curly.
is gorgeous.
My hair is not, my name is not Chrissy, but he followed me in, and I felt him. I went to talk to your friend that you were talking about and his wife, and I could feel him behind me. And I said, I've got somebody here at my right shoulder. And his wife said to him, she does, because I can see it she had a little piece of equipment that I guess she could follow ghosts around the room or whatever. And then Beth, who just lost her
Internet.
internet, she was sitting near the elevator shaft, and she got a lot of information while she was sitting there. And also Kathy, who's another member of our team who's not on tonight, saw a woman falling out of a building.
I saw that too.
And you saw that too?
Mhm.
Okay.
I kept feeling like, I was like, I feel like there's something about someone falling, and when we first got there, and we ended up setting up. We were having things happened downstairs just when we were setting up, actually. So we were walking around, and the first thing we'll do is like a baseline reading with our EMF detectors to see if like, okay, is there any EMF happening here from the wiring in the building? You know, it's an older building, like wiring in the building, like the your cash, the point of sale, you know, all of those things, your refrigerators, like all that stuff, right? To see like, is there anything that could be causing people to feel unease or like uncomfortable, discomfort that's coming from a source that you could have like a fix to, right? Like something that you could do to fix that and from an electrician. But while we were walking around, we were getting these readings on our EMF that were like not consistent. And they were consistent in one spot for a while, but I tried going to any anything that you all had set up, like your cooling or your case for your pastries, like, you know, like all that stuff. I was like going towards those things or the router and all that stuff. Nothing, right, guys? Like we were getting nothing from those. But in the area, there's an area where the bathrooms are, and there are some like there's some seating over there.
Yeah.
We were getting readings there. And so I kind of sat there. Mom, I think you and Beth were towards the back talking to your friends who were there with us and near the elevator. And that's where you were getting some information, Beth. Unless you had walked over to Christy, you have a little setup near the bathroom that's like got dog leashes and cute little things people can buy. And I was sitting in a chair facing where Les was standing, and I saw him standing there, and he wasn't touching anything. And he was looking at stuff, and he's like, "Oh, interesting." And he turned around, and when he turned around,
He walked towards us then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he took a few steps away.
Yeah.
And as he took a few steps away, a leash just jumped off and
Jumped right off.
onto the floor.
Wow.
And we were like, and
take me for a walk.
Les just turns
We were
around.
looking right at him and we were
Yeah.
like,
Oh, wow.
And Beth looks at, or Les looks at me, and he's like, I didn't touch anything. I wasn't touching it. And I was like, I saw.
wasn't
wow.
it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And we were like, we knew. We were just watching that. It just went, whoop. It was pink.
It didn't just fall off. It was a good, foot
No,
or 2
like-
foot from the
Oh,
edge.
It
was
jumped off.
It was a good hop off the shelf,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like,
Oh.
and I think they're hanging on hooks, right? They're kind of
They
like
are.
all hanging. Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
No,
it
I
didn't
remember it.
just come off from weight or anything. It literally jumped off and landed on the floor.
And
It
of
would have
course
had
we-
to have lifted. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lifted and traveled.
Yes.
Because if it would have just come off the hook, it would have fallen on the shelf part.
Falling
Straight
on
down.
the
Yeah,
shelf.
there's
Right.
like a table. That's, yes.
And
There's
of
like,
course, we had a
Like a
camera.
little vanity is there.
We
yeah,
had
it's a
camera
vanity and it
sitting
has
beside
little,
it,
Yes.
And Jesse, you walked over and you
facing the other way.
stomped on the floor back and forth
Jumped.
about 5 times.
To make sure it
Yeah.
couldn't have happened anyway. No,
we were
nothing.
trying to
Everything's
troubleshoot
raised.
and make sure like, okay, well, like it
Yes.
is an older building. So like maybe it was like precariously hooked on or,
Yes.
you know, something like that. And so we were trying to make vibrations, and it is older, but it is sturdy. So we did we did not, at least in that area, like was very solid. So we didn't experience anything that could have caused that to happen. So that was cool. And then we went upstairs after that, right? And that's when we were getting those feelings. But it was after a while for me and Kathy feeling like I said, I feel like I'm sensing like something about someone falling. And she said, I'm getting that too.
Yeah.
Kind of like I was just like seeing that, or like the sensation, you know, of someone
Right.
falling. And I got like goosebumps and stuff, you know, like,
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry, I interjected. I meant to just interject a little, and then I just went off. I'm so sorry, Mom. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
that's
continue.
okay. I had just started telling what you were feeling, and you're back. So I'd rather have you say what you experienced while you were sitting there.
Oh, the most energy I felt was when we came in. Immediately, I felt energy,
Mhm.
and I was drawn to where the bathroom is, and incidentally, the shelf with the dog display, dog leash display. And I stayed there for a long time because the energy was so strong there, and I kept trying to get them to open up
Yeah.
and speak to me. And I really couldn't. But I felt like there was a male presence there. And later, throughout the time, he did seem to follow us. I believe he was following us the whole way around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This male energy kept imparting to me that he wasn't supposed to be there. He shouldn't be there. And he, for whatever reason, he was like nervous that he was there, and somebody didn't want him there.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I think he followed us around quite a bit. Another thing I felt was I really love the elevator area. And I sat back there for a long time, and I could feel a female presence back there, but it was lighter, and it kind of just drifted in and out a little bit. And I couldn't get her to talk to me at all. But it was definitely a female energy that was back in that area.
And pertaining to what you had said earlier, Christy, is we can all say 100% there's no negative or dangerous spirits in the building at all. They're all, they're all happy and
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
It's I haven't sensed, like anger or anything that's, for me, it's more, hey, we're here, and it doesn't feel, I don't know. I don't know why I even say that, but it doesn't feel threatening or mean. So to me, it doesn't. I'm really happy to hear this. I'm just so happy you guys got to go in and,
Oh, we are
tell
too.
me these things and validate that for me. So
I
it's,
wanted to say too, touch on the mirror, because there's a lot of things that can happen with mirrors that are not paranormal at all, where
okay.
in the process of the mirror being created and all that stuff, oils from people's hands can transfer onto the mirrored part that is behind the glass. So I know for me, that was something that I was very looking for, also in the way in some of the vintage mirrors are made. There's this matrixing thing that can happen with, it's like an oxidization that happens in the reflective part that's behind the actual glass part. So I was looking for that when we went in there to see what was up with this mirror. And I was surprised because it's very clearly on the outside glass. Like, I think if you were to wipe it, it would be cleaned off. Like, it looks like a person, a corporeal being, like put their hand on the outside today. Like, it doesn't look like that I've seen before, or like that I'm aware of. So I wanted to throw that out there too, because I found that to be really interesting. And I am also a parent, and I can confirm there is no way my kid would be over there, or I would be holding out my kid, because
No.
it's hard to explain if you haven't seen it, but where you have the mirror hung is not accessible, especially to a small child that would be that little. So that was also surprising, because I'm like, there's no way any parent is letting their either A, holding their kid out over this. They would be dangerous.
elevator
Okay.
shaft.
Yeah. I'm like, unless you're
Let me
Michael
dangle my
Jackson
kid over
dangling
the
your baby,
elevator.
like,
Right.
like no one's doing that. That would be wild.
Marjorie
But-
says, I see scary stuff in my mirrors at home all the time, but wait, that's me.
And it was interesting too, because we were trying to ask questions in that area about that. And I don't feel like we got any kind of responses in regards to that mirror. Do you all remember? No, like nothing. So I don't know.
No.
It was so, now we did get okay, you mentioned there's the locked gate, and there's like an area back there. There's a little cart, and you have some things on the cart kind of under the window, kind of over there. And I was sitting next to the elevator shaft area, and in one of the chairs, and we were having like we were asking questions. We had like a flashlight, and we had a spirit box, and we had our EMF detectors and everything. And
REM pods.
REM pods, yep. And we were asking questions. And at one point, over where that cart is, there was a sound, like something moved, like a clink, like and y'all, this coffee shop is so cute. Joy, Robin, you would love it. It's beautiful. It's so cute. We
Really?
walked in, I was like,
And it has
I
a
love this
bookstore
place.
upstairs.
yeah, it's
Thank you.
beautiful. Love it. And I sent pictures to my husband, and he was like, stop going cool places without me. I was like, we can come back. We will. But yeah, like it's really cute. So there's lots of like antiques and beautiful things everywhere. And this cart had objects on it. But I went over, and because we like to make sure, like again, is it vibrations? This was on the second level, and it's near the elevator shaft. And so I went to the cart, and I touched the items on it to see, like, is everything on there was very secure. And that also sounds a little bit wild, but like they were set up in such a way on the cart that you couldn't jiggle them even. Like I couldn't reach my hand in and move anything that would make that sound. It could have been natural settling in the building or something like that. It was strange though, because it was definitely, it sounded like an object moving, like from that area. And that was the only thing over there that would have really been able to make that kind of sound. So that was like another interesting thing that happened right in that area. That was also when we were asking questions to the spirit box, and we kept getting the word government
Yes.
repeatedly.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Repeatedly government.
Government, and we got wife.
Yep.
Trying to remember what else we got. I don't know if you have notes, Beth, from
I have notes from when you did it, but
the Estes.
you may, yeah. Well, that's the Estes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what
Before you read that, Beth, I wanted to circle back to what Beth had said about sensing a presence who felt like nervous about being there and like he shouldn't be there, or somebody didn't want him to be there. And then we found out that the male spirit that had been following us around had not been welcomed there by the original owners.
Oh, that's another thing we got. Original owners.
Original owners
We heard
in
original
hardware store.
Yeah. We heard original owners in government. Yeah, hardware store. We didn't know any of the history at this
No.
point.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so then your friend who was there
Mhm.
at the end of the night gave us some of the history.
Mhm.
And as it turns out, there was a man that was the first government employee, right? In Bartow, I believe.
Was. He was the lamplighter. So he would go
Lamplighter.
around, he would light the lamps in Bartow before there was electricity.
So
So
he worked for the
And-
government there.
Yeah, it was constantly government worker, government worker. We kept getting that.
And we were
And
like,
wow.
do you work
what do
for
you
the
know? He
government?
was a government worker.
wow.
Gaslighting from the government.
And I think your friend was up there at one point just like observing, and he just like got up and he goes, he didn't want to tell us anything. He goes, "You're very hot." And then he walked downstairs. He's like,
I can see that. Okay. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. So I don't know if I'm allowed to ask, but were you able to pick up on and how he feels now? Is he unsettled? Is he okay? Is he
I think he's okay now. I think I think a lot of what he was showing Beth was his history
okay? Okay.
and how, how he got to be there.
It
So
was interesting. Oh, go ahead, Joy.
I was just going to ask a question that
Mhm.
came to mind when you were talking about the antiques. Are all of those the original to there? Or are they antiques that are brought in for somewhere else? Because I was wondering if a discomfort could be because there, could be something attached to an antique that may bring somebody in that would not normally be there.
The original owner took, a lot of things, and so we have had to replace pretty much all the decor. And my husband and I do go antique hunting, and we go pretty much all over state of Florida. And my thing is though, and it's funny because my friend mentioned that, oh, hey, you could bring something in, with
Yeah.
one of the pieces, or I've always really went with my gut on that though. And I tell everybody how I decorated that shop is you get to see all of the things that make me smile. So to me, that means when I bring in a vase or I bring in a painting or I bring in a couch or I bring, anything, it feels good to me and it makes me smile. I haven't I don't know. I don't know how that works. I can say I haven't had a piece that I've brought in because I wouldn't buy it if it didn't make me feel good. So I don't know if things can be attached, to things like that, even if I'm feeling okay about it. So that could be. I mean,
I mean,
I don't know.
I have no idea, but I don't think all spirits would give off a bad vibe though. I don't know.
True.
You but yeah, I wondered about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is something we asked as well when we were there. Right, y'all? Like
Yeah.
we did ask whoever was there, like if
Mhm.
if they were associated with one of the antiques or if they,
Yep.
one of those items meant something to them. And what I was going to say is it was interesting because we were getting information and we were getting like feelings about things, but it almost seemed a little bit difficult for them to communicate or answer things directly.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know, every time we go and do this kind of thing, you never know what you're going to get, and that makes it really interesting because it can be so different. And sometimes we will go on an investigation and we will get direct answers that are like you're having a conversation, right? And then other times, like this time, it felt like we were hearing things and we would be like, okay, I'm hearing government. Like, did you work for the government? And then it would be quiet. And then they'd repeat it. But like we
But that
weren't
was
getting.
there were a lot of things that we were getting as sensitives, not on our equipment. And I think it was difficult for them to use the equipment because we were the first team that it has ever gone in
That could
there.
be.
And so
So they
But
didn't
government and original owners,
or
we were
trust
getting
it.
on the
on
spirit box.
on the spirit
Yeah.
box, yes.
It was coming through. So it was interesting to have like that. And then when we were trying to follow up, it was like, okay, I don't know if we're on the right track, And then it was funny because your friend was like, you guys are hot, and we're like, oh,
Are
okay, good.
we?
Yeah. And then interesting also with the falling because I was like, I'm feeling this falling sensation. And then Kathy was like, I'm seeing that too. I'm seeing something about someone falling. and it was like giving me goosebumps. And it was when I was standing over by the elevator shaft and the stairs back there. And I thought, maybe somebody fell down the stairs or the elevator. I don't know. There was some accident. But then your friend told us that some of the history after we were done, and there is a building that used to be the courthouse. Is that right?
Yes.
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 It's like right kind of across the way, sort of. And that a woman had like fallen from there or jumped from there to her death. And so both of us thought, well, okay, well, maybe that was what we were picking up on, but it was very interesting the way things were communicating, because we were getting information more than we realized at the time. I think
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
We also realized that they were able to manipulate our equipment later in the evening, but towards the beginning of the evening, not as much. So I think they were learning the equipment as we were there.
That could be.
Okay.
And we teach them how to use the equipment in every time we go in, even if people have gone investigating there a million times before. We always teach the spirits, this is what you do. It's not going to hurt you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we've got some
But
comments.
this could be a trust issue too, because they don't really know
They
us.
don't know us.
So
Right.
We
If we go
find
back
when we keep going
we
back to places,
might have different.
we build a relationship, and then they get extremely chatty.
Chatty, almost too chatty.
Wow.
Chris
Oh,
Chrisman
wow.
says, this is great having the, quote, client, Christy, on the show with you like this. I like seeing and hearing her reactions and her input.
Input.
Yeah.
I meant to say.
And Marjorie says, how many floors is the building? 2, 3, 40? I'm wondering how far to follow.
Ball was across the way, Marjorie. It was in a different building. It was a woman who had either fallen off the top of the building or jumped.
But this building was 2 stories.
2
This
stories.
building was
Still
2
is, I
stories.
think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I hope so. Unless something
It
bad
still
has
is
happened.
today, right?
Okay, good.
Well,
You don't have
that's
there's no basement there?
no, there's not. Now at the historic courthouse, though, which is now the history center of Bartow, that building is 3 stories. I actually got to go up on the 3rd floor for the first time. Nobody gets to go up there. I got to see all the oddities and all the fun
Yay.
stuff
Cool.
a few weeks
Cool.
ago. So that one's 3 stories with a basement. And it's interesting you guys are saying this, because there are a lot of people that say they hear that or feel that or from her. She must communicate very loud. I'll
Maybe
say
she's
that.
trying to
Yeah.
get her story out.
I will tell you this, Christy. There are some entities who are very good at what they do and
Okay.
can be very loud and have no problem communicating immediately.
Okay.
Others take more coaxing and have more trust issues and have a longer learning curve on how to use the equipment and how to manipulate the equipment so that they can be heard.
Okay.
But
That makes sense. That makes sense. And it's interesting. And I wanted to kind of ask you guys this actually.
Yeah,
If you don't
I have to
mind.
go. I'll be right back.
okay.
Okay.
How do I mute me? I think there was just an accident.
Hit the mute on the
Oh,
bottom.
No.
She got it.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you, I've had a few customers say to me, because we purchased the shop from the previous owner, that they asked if I painted the inside of the building. I didn't understand what they were saying until I asked one. I said, well, tell me more, and he said, well, I thought the walls were painted black in here. It was very dark before you guys bought it. And I thought, oh, wow. I mean, the walls are not black. You guys have seen it. It's colorful. There's some sections are, of course, there's murals, but it does seem like from when I first started going in there till now, that it has brightened up. It really has. So I didn't know if that could be influenced, or if that could, I don't know if that makes a difference, if that makes sense. I don't know how to
Beth,
frame the question.
Beth, you want to answer that?
Yeah, anytime you make any kind of changes, yeah, it does influence them. They will, a lot of times they don't like any kind of changes that you make.
Okay.
And sometimes they're fine with it, and they're like, oh, they're taking care of my place and caring for it. But it usually will start some kind of activity. One
Okay.
So
way or another.
I was wondering, like, to clarify your question, did you paint? Like, are you saying you did paint and it was black before? Or no, you're saying you
No, you
didn't
just
paint
That's what I
anything.
thought.
you did a
So,
And
couple of
that the
murals.
vibe
Yeah.
feels maybe that you're asking is, could it be that the feeling and the vibe in there is such that people perceive it to be lighter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, he thought it was painted black. So
Ooh.
I was wondering if he's not a sensitive himself, whether he knows it or not, and he was picking up on, well, I don't want to insult the people that were there before, but
You're okay. You're okay.
anyway,
Yeah.
you
Well, that
know,
I know what you're saying. I've thought, yeah, I've thought the same thing. So I just didn't know if, with them being there, if they can influence that.
Like the
So
way
yeah,
people perceive
Perceive
things.
it.
yes, 100%,
Mhm.
okay,
100%.
okay,
It's like when
okay.
you go into a store, some stores you go into and you feel really happy and stuff and you want to spend time there. And other stores you go into, you're like, yep, well, they don't want me here. So
Right.
Yeah. Or
they don't
even like
exit.
people's houses or,
Right,
like
social
places.
gatherings.
If you go to a place that there's been a lot of history or things that have happened, and you can sometimes feel that, lingering, you,
Residue.
yeah, residue.
Yeah. Uh, Hi,
George is
George.
here.
Welcome.
Hi,
Okay.
George.
I'm here
Hi,
for
George.
better or for worse. But truth told, I've used up all the better. Nothing's left but the worst.
Oh, George.
That's about it.
Stop it.
But you do have a question as well. Does a spirit have human form?
Yes. If you mean, do they have flesh and blood and a skeleton underneath the flesh and blood? No. But they can manifest in human form. I've seen one really really good apparition of a little girl, and it was, I mean, I could see the bow on her dress, I could see the ruffles on her dress, I could see her shoes and her socks and
And the lady
her
in
hair.
Massachusetts.
Oh, and the lady in Massachusetts, but she didn't have any feet. But she was
It's mostly
she was
human form.
mostly there. She was there from the bottom of her skirt to the top of her head. And she was, yeah, she was actually even more formed than the little girl, but she'd been around for, a few hundred years.
The picture you got from Gettysburg was about as clear as anything I've ever seen.
And
Of the
what a human form, right? And his
That's
Confederate
absolutely
cap on his head and leaning
unbelievable.
back and
The shoes,
smoking a cigarette. I'm like,
yeah.
whoa, I
And
know.
that man I told you about a while ago, sitting at the party, that I couldn't see when I looked directly at him, but he looked like he was a party goer. He was just he was so
Yeah.
He
solid
was
looking.
in living color.
Yes, absolutely.
Do they look like the person from whom they are derived? George wants to know.
Well, I don't know. I've I'm trying to think.
Well,
Yes,
we,
yes. My grandmother. Remember, my grandmother
Yeah,
came
yeah,
and sat down beside me.
yeah.
Yes, my grandmother wore the same
Now, whether
hat. Her
that's
hair
always
was
the case
dyed
or
the same
not,
color.
whether that's
She,
always the case or not, or at what
yeah,
age they
yeah,
are, who knows?
yeah.
Interestingly enough, that they can, I don't know if it's their choice or not, but sometimes if they pass when they're in their 80s, they can present themselves as a child or as a young adult. They don't always present themselves as they were when they passed.
Right.
Hmm.
And of course, my grandmother came to talk to me, and so she presented as herself before she became ill,
Yeah.
healthy, but at her
And
age.
that makes sense, because if they were in a bad car accident or something, you wouldn't want them.
Mhm.
Right.
That would not be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. Good food for
Mhm.
thought.
Yep. Good question, George. And also, I've been thinking about this a lot, that I've known um, Chris Chrisman said they maybe appear as they think they look like.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be.
Well, I'm going to look a lot better than this, I'll tell you that. Oh, I think I look great.
George has like all the questions tonight.
Yes.
I know.
He's like,
George is
okay, I
yeah.
saved them up. Here
I
they
love
go.
it.
Does a spirit live, exist forever? Yes. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So, yeah, forever and ever. Hallelujah.
Um, maybe one of you guys can.
Sorry, that's a
Maybe
hymn.
Jesse, you remember, or Beth. Were your spirit box sessions? Did we do one
Oh, yeah.
last in the evening? I know we did one like the middle of the evening
Yeah.
upstairs.
In the room where the mirror is hanging.
Yes.
Okay.
We did one at the end.
Did we do one toward the end?
Mine was pretty close to when it was right before
All right.
he came up and we talked. He told us the history
Okay.
stuff.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, then I've got something. We did have one anomaly on the cameras.
Christy,
wow.
nobody showed up on the cameras.
On the
Right.
video.
Okay.
unfortunately.
Good.
Even when the leash
Yeah.
came off, the cameras were close, but there was something obstructing each time that
Right.
exact spot.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
up in the room in the middle up there, what do you call that room? Is it like the empty room? I don't know.
Well, I love that. Actually, we call it that now. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. It's so the previous owner removed all of her items. It took a little while, and so now it is an empty room. I did put my desk up there, and I have big plans for it. I just
Okay.
am waiting for what really feels right.
All right. Well,
So
we normally don't have any trouble with the cameras. I'm going to preface you with that.
okay.
Normally.
Normally, I went through. We have 4 of the cameras, and I went through all 4 of them, and they were all fine and played all the way to the end. Everything was great, except the last one I did was the empty room, and starting at about 8:35, which is about when we would have been up there doing that session,
When
Yeah.
Jess would have been doing Estes.
until 9:13. What happened was the tape has a little blank spot. It has like a line that goes across, showing when it's recording, and at that point there's a little break in it, and then it starts up again, but the camera then advanced it like super speed all the way to the end. And we don't have enough speed on the camera to fast forward it that fast.
I mean, we can fast forward it, but it's not that fast.
So what caused it, I have no idea.
It was definitely an
It
anomaly.
didn't catch anything, but it was almost like, we don't want you to see what's going on here now.
Now, just before that did happen, a very large thing flew in front of the camera. So, I mean, we usually, don't
Like
really.
Look kind of like an orb kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
And
it could have been a bug.
yeah,
Or
and
dust yeah.
yeah, this was
What is it?
big though.
Like
What is
people will call them orbs usually when you catch them
Oh,
on
yes.
camera.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
But we usually most time those can be explained as like a bug,
Or
dust.
Moisture.
Yeah.
moisture.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Lots.
things like that.
And this would have had to have been a bug.
But this
But it was huge.
this outage corresponds with the time that you were doing your session.
And then we see a white thing flash from the bottom of the screen, goes very rapidly to the top of the screen, and then it stops.
Okay.
It's very strange. It's never
And
happened
then-
before, and
and
we've
then
had
after
those
a
cameras
while-
for years.
And after a while, then it jumps and fast forwards to the end.
You know,
Like the end,
So either our camera system's having a nervous breakdown, which we'll find out the next time we
or
go
that
on
was
one,
an anomaly.
or there was an anomaly that has associated somehow with the session that Jesse was doing.
interesting. Okay. It's weird that you're saying this, honestly, because we have so downstairs, and I did turn them off the night you guys were there because I didn't want you to have any interference. But downstairs, I do have 2 cameras, just for business purposes in case, hey, somebody, God forbid something happens. The camera, I don't know if you felt anything when you first walked in over to the right where the
That's it,
plants
yeah.
are. Yeah.
When
Okay.
we first walked in the front door, you mean?
Yes.
Mhm.
Beth,
yeah.
That's when I
Beth
think
and
that
mom too.
there was a person, a
Is that-
man, walking behind me on my right side.
Okay. Yep.
Where
That's
did you
exactly
went in?
where I'm talking about. When you walk in to the right, I call it my little plant area because there's a mural, of the 2 women with the plants, and there's plants there. Yeah, that camera up in that corner, it skips time all the time like that, and no other camera does. I've never seen that happen. There's nothing. I check everything. I'm like you guys. When the vase jumped off the ice machine, I'm jumping on the floors trying to see what it does. I want to
Yeah.
scientifically explain this. And so that camera drives me crazy. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. I see people. It doesn't even stop. It just skips. And it's very strange. Usually a camera will pause and then resume at a different time. This one, no. It's like, psh, psh. I mean, it's so fast that, yeah.
This is basically the same thing.
The same thing happened, and
we
we've never had it happen before. So we'll have to see if it happens again. And
Yeah.
right.
anyway, Paul
Well-
Hollis said maybe they appear as you might remember them, assuming you knew them before. That could be.
Yeah.
Ooh. Huh.
George says that's a long time to play canasta. Okay. Chris Christmas says it did not want to be captured on camera. Right.
Maybe.
That's probably
Maybe.
that could
Or
be-
maybe because so like for example, sometimes when we have things that we pick up from spirits, they're maybe trying to communicate something and not understanding how it's impacting us. So I know like Beth, you've had this before where you've had like chest pain or pressure in your chest
Yes.
or things like that.
Yes.
And then we will explain like, hey, like we hear you, we're feeling you, like, and we'll find out later, oh, there was somebody who had like breathing, or they had a heart event when they passed and they were there, like things like that. I don't think it's malicious or they're trying to upset anyone. They're trying to
No.
communicate in any way they can.
Right.
And when we have explained, hey, you're making us uncomfortable, or that please stop what you're doing. We hear you and we understand and we're listening, but can you communicate another way? And it'll stop. It'll let up. But maybe even, I know he was joking around saying they did not want to be captured on camera, maybe they didn't understand how that would impact our equipment. Whatever was there, if it was something paranormal, didn't understand that it would impact our equipment that way, or doesn't understand it's impacting your camera that way either.
Mhm.
And it just so happens that whatever they are doing
It could be a way of saying, hello, I'm here.
Well,
Right?
another thing I just realized, our main monitor and the thing that actually where it's recorded was down on the table
right by
Yeah.
the
right
door.
by the door underneath the camera.
That's where it
So
was.
I'm
And that's where the
wondering
glitch
whether
was.
it's not the camera up in the empty room, but
The monitor.
perhaps whatever is bothering your camera is messing with ours too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That
probably
makes
it.
sense.
I mean, it could
That
be.
makes sense.
I don't know.
That does.
So George Dismuke says, "Good point, Paul. I just hope one never appears as my third wife. Poor Deborah. She's so maligned."
You know, going back to what Jess was just talking about, is that when we feel some symptoms of maybe what the person was feeling when they passed, we actually did have that during one of our sessions at the coffee shop. And that would have been upstairs, and Jess would have been doing the Estes method at that time because I took notes on it. And the question was, did you die here? And we got spikes on our meters. And then the next question was, have you given us a headache? And did you have head trauma? And the answer was over there, sometimes in the building. Over there, look back. And it makes me wonder, those were all responses, if we were not communicating at that point with the woman who had jumped.
Oh, now I was sitting when I was doing the Estes. This is just dawning on me. I was sitting near, you have the little seating area near the door to the empty room.
Yes.
Okay. I was sitting in the
You had
the
your back
big,
to it.
yes, the big round chair that's in the corner, sort of. I was
Right.
sitting there. And it just dawned on me when you were reading it back, because I don't remember what. Well, I didn't know what you guys were asking in the first place, but you said over there, or well, I said. I said.
This is confusing.
He said, over there, sometimes
Who's on
in the
first?
building.
Okay.
I usually talk like this. It's usually
It's inherited.
Look back.
Look back.
Over there, look back.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we're having that phenomenon happen on the camera
Yeah, behind
in
you.
the room behind me,
yes.
which is
Oh.
interesting.
Because your
Yes.
perspective would have been, look back, look over there.
Right.
Look
Like
back.
if. So, and we did have that REM pod go off a little bit
Yes.
earlier in the night in that
Yes.
room. So we had a
Mhm.
REM pod, which is like
In
an
the
EMF
empty room.
detector that when you go near it, it's a proximity sensor. So if anyone, corporeal or not, goes near it, it will make a sound and light up, and then we can go and we set it up, and we will say, this device here is called a REM pod and it won't hurt you. And, this light here, if you just go near the light, and we'll explain it, we'll demonstrate. You just go near it like this, and we'll put our hand near it, and it'll light up and make the sound. And usually when we set it up, I will do that, even like if we're just in setup and I'm just placing it and we're placing the cameras and stuff. I will say it then, but we'll say it usually a couple times during the night. And we will say, if you want to communicate, if there's someone here, we're going to go in the other room. But if you would like someone to come communicate or let us know you're here, and you go near this, it will make a sound, it'll light up, and we will come to you. So if you want to talk, we'll come in here. That's all you need to do, and we'll know, And it did go off at one point during the night, and we went in there. We all we are true to our word, so we all went in there, and we sat for a while and we asked questions. And I don't remember if we had anything happen at that moment in
don't think-
response
We
after
did
that.
not.
No.
But
And
I just think they were having trouble learning how to manipulate.
Yeah, when you
Mhm.
think about it, if it was people from where they were doing gaslighting in the streets,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, the old lamplighter.
this would be rather daunting to them to try to manipulate
To learn all this
electricity,
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Could be.
Or
So
even
there
to
are
wrap their heads around and understand.
Yeah.
that kind of fit with the woman who had jumped from the building. At one point, we had asked, "Did you fall down the shaft?" We were thinking maybe somebody fell down the elevator
did.
shaft.
We did.
And Jess responded, the headphones, she responded, see, feel. Um, a few moments later, I heard in my head, trauma, trauma, trauma. And then Jess said, the woman felt head pain.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I got a wicked headache.
Yeah.
Really?
Several of us had headaches.
Yeah, it was bad. But like that little dead priest at your place, where you used to have your school,
Mm-hmm.
Beth, I can remember the first time I walked down that hall and I was like, whoa, and I thought that it was somebody who was angry because I had so much pressure on my chest. And you said, no, he's very kind. He's just trying to communicate.
Yeah.
And that's
but
how
you know
he
who it is.
passed. Yeah.
Sometimes that's how they describe themselves, is by how they passed. And that's kind of like a clue as to and you have to figure out who they are by the clue about how they passed. And they give you those pains, head pain, trauma in the chest.
It's like,
it's fun.
Thanks so much. I just really enjoy this a lot.
Right.
It's
Can
like,
you just say the words?
Could you back off a little bit?
You said government, but you can't. No.
Right. Right.
But
Come
you
on.
can't say I jumped off the building. Connie clearly says,
Right.
Hi, Connie.
Hi,
Hello.
Connie. Glad you're here. Yeah,
So-
it's interesting.
So you said that sometimes it takes more than one session to have them be comfortable and communicate better. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They, there's this one place that we go. Actually, we're going there a week from Saturday,
Mhm.
where there's one entity up in the attic who seriously now sings opera, tells jokes. I mean,
Has his friends.
He's very entertaining.
he's very entertaining. He makes us laugh so hard. We think he really literally had a song and dance routine on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's really, really funny and he likes us and he says, "You're family, right? You're family now, right?"
Oh. Okay.
I know, right, Gary?
Wow.
But he talks through the Estes method, which I don't know if you know what that is, but you do know what it is? Okay. The person who is trying to listen for the spirit wears headphones and listens to white noise, okay? And other people in their noise canceling headphones, so they can't hear the questions that we're asking, and then they speak. And so the last time we were there, Jesse had like a 42-minute session of him talking through her, which I think was exhausting for her and him because he finally said, "I'm tired."
Wow. Did you dance? Because I'm
That's next.
Don't give him any ideas, please.
No,
well,
we're going there next week.
I have to
does
know
make-
if you do a tap dance or a show routine. You have to tell me.
He does make me do this silly singing thing.
Yeah,
I
opera.
never experienced
Oh.
that anywhere else. But he the first time we were there and I didn't know anything about the place or anything. And we were sitting up there and I was doing that and I kept hearing this singing and it's like so funny. And I started to laugh because it was like insistent. Like it was like, I'm not going to stop until, and I was like, okay. And I was like, well, he's making me do this. And then I was like, oh,
That's
does
great.
this like silly thing. And it's very funny.
Oh, remember the time when he made the floor bounce underneath you? And then he said, "Wasn't that funny?"
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and Beth, I think this was the greatest thing ever. was Beth says to him one time very quietly, I think maybe it was the very first time we'd done the Estes
Yeah.
method with him.
Yes. Mhm.
And Beth said very quietly from about 15 feet away, so I know there's no way Jess could have heard her. Well, noise canceling
no.
headphones anyway. And she said, the last time that I was here, I got scratched. Was that you? And Jess immediately yells out, that was the cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And we all started laughing like, oh my God, this guy is so funny. The docents told us later on the night, oh no, we have a ghost cat. He wasn't being funny. He didn't do it. The cat did it.
Oh, well, that was actually going to be a question I had for you guys, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Was about animals, because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
another place in Bartow that I have a picture. I went on a Halloween tour of it. It's, a historic home. It's beautiful. You guys would love it. And I have a picture that I just took out front of the front steps, like the grand steps walking up. And there is a cat. And I've called it, I don't know, it's weird. I've called it Shadow Cat since then, because I don't know what it is. But you zoom in, and it's a cat. And I'm like, does that happen? Are there spirit animals too?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a dog that kept coming back, and I had not wanted to go pick up his ashes. And my vet had him, but our vet happened to be our friend too. And after about a year, he finally came over to the house and he said, here. But I didn't want to go get his ashes. And anyway, I
Right.
still have his ashes now. They're in our bedroom. But as soon as his ashes came back to the house, he quit jumping up on the bed and barking at the door and jumping up on the door and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he quit feeding it.
Chris Chrisman said he's from vaudeville and loves performing so much he can't give it up. Cool. Yeah, I do think he was
It is.
a
I think so, too.
vaudevillian.
Yeah.
I really do.
The
Yeah, those
docents
vibes.
think that he came with a trunk that was actually an actor's trunk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that's where he'll turn on the light, the flashlight. Remember one night we'd been asking him to try and turn on the flashlight like for all night, and he never did. And then he turned it on, and Jesse yells, "Did you see that?" Like he was so proud of
But
himself.
I had the blindfold on. I didn't know the
Like,
light was on, but
oh no.
it was him speaking.
Wow.
I'm
That's what
wondering,
he made me say.
Christy, did we explain to you what the Estes method is? We're talking
I
like
did. I just
you
I
already did.
remember, yes, and Les talked to me about that too.
Okay, good.
I didn't put the name and the together.
Okay,
So
good.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I
maybe
we tend
Chris.
to ramble on about it, and then we're like, "Oh wait, do you know what that
Yeah.
is?"
Right.
Maybe we don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
And I wasn't just very excited about the light. I didn't know the light was happening. I had my eyes. So Gary was proud of himself, I think.
That he turned on the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that? We
So
were
how
all-
long have you been? How long have you been in the building, Christy?
we actually, my husband and I purchased it about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Have you ever tried to talk to any of the ghosts?
Okay, it's funny you say that, because the employee that experiences the most talks all the time. She's like, "Hey, Billy, how are you?" Blah 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 blah. So it's funny. A couple of weeks ago, I just, I was like, "All right, bye, Billy." You know what I mean? And I haven't really tried to. Honestly, I've just kind of, that's about it. Bye, Billy. Have a good night. That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking because, well, I had something in my house that I wanted to go away because it was annoyingly knocking
Really?
pictures off the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And I talked to it, and I think it was because the people that had moved, I think it was one of their relatives that was living with them, and so I had read, if you talk to him, and explain to him, and I did explain to him. I went and said this in every room, and it went away. But I wondered, and I don't know that you want your people to go away or anything. I don't know if they would, but because I think this was just a lost spirit in this particular thing. But you talked about that happening with your camera, and I just wondered if you just talk to somebody and tell them that camera's for the safety of, to make sure that nothing happens to customers or to keep you safe. It will alert you if there's somebody here. And I would appreciate it if you know of anything going on that's causing this to my camera, that you could ask them not to do that anymore and see if it makes a difference, because that was something I wouldn't have expected, but it would never hurt.
Right.
I love that. I love that. And honestly, before coming on here, I didn't know it makes sense that, the time that they actually lived, they didn't have that technology. I never thought about that.
Right.
And that when you guys go in, they have to actually, all of a sudden they're seeing cameras and things and, I never would have thought about that. Honestly, I don't think a normal person, that's never done this would have thought, oh, wow, they have trouble
No, I
manipulating.
didn't. I read about it because I was like, what can I do?
Yeah.
I'll try that. I really will, because that makes good sense. So I like it. Thank you.
It'd be interesting to me to know which one is doing that, is interrupting it.
Mhm.
I would like to know that.
And maybe it's
If
their
that's-
energy that's doing it.
It might be energy, and they don't even know that it's their energy.
Right.
Why would
So-
it just be one why would it be one camera? That's interesting that it's just one.
Well,
That's your only
that
camera.
was where we
Right.
felt the energy. So I think perhaps he's in that area a lot,
Maybe.
because I think
I'm
that's
wondering, could it be the plants? Maybe he's in the building and hasn't been outside, or, are they confined to an area, and he's just,
Usually
I don't
could
know.
move
no,
around.
they're not. They're not confined to an area.
oh, they're
unless
not?
they
Okay.
unless they confine themselves.
Yeah.
They can move on, and they can come back and move on
Or
to
if
the other
it's-
room and come back and
If it's a
Okay.
residual, which is not a
That's different.
non-intelligent haunt, and they just repeat a pattern over and over and over. But I don't know if that would cause a lot of static or problems with cameras.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
think so, but could. It's energy, so who knows?
It is energy.
So Chris Chrisman had said, "Oh wow, a ghost cat would explain the scratches that appear on my back overnight sometimes." And then he said, "That might work if it's hovering at the door." That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Mm.
And Chris Chrisman said maybe he's guarding the entrance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know something
Maybe.
made itself known to me as soon as we walked in the door.
Mhm.
Yep, me too. A male. Yep.
Mhm.
And that's interesting too, because my dad said that he, saw a male at the front of the building like that too. So when he was down. So
Oh.
yeah. I really haven't told many people that. So like my friend knows that,
Yeah.
but none of the employees do or anything like that. Because you just don't want to scare people if they're not
Sure.
Right.
okay with that. But he said he just was standing there watching. So I thought that, yeah.
Was he like facing in the store, or was he facing out? He's facing in.
He said he was, when you walked in at the front of the shop, he was standing in that corner where that camera is,
Yep.
just facing inwards watching.
Interesting. Okay.
So guarding sounds about right, actually.
Yeah.
So
Just time to go on the other side of the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you
lead the way, Quincy, go that way. The camera's over there. Maybe,
Yeah.
and I'll talk to him. Maybe that will work. I will let you guys know.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
let us know if that works, because
I will.
Yeah.
It,
Because-
I think for me, it would be neat to see if, because it doesn't sound like he was unhappy that you guys were there. I think he was more curious, it seems like. And maybe we try again, or see if he's more familiar, feels more comfortable.
We would
I
love
just
to do it again.
I'd love to.
I would
was
love
wonderful.
to do it again on a night that you could be there, Christy, because then he might even be more up to come out and communicate with us a little bit, because
Yeah.
And show himself on our cameras too.
okay. I would definitely,
It'd
if
be
you
cool
guys
to
were
get
there,
the
it'd be
courthouse,
great.
too.
It's an experience. I'm not, Robin and I aren't technically part of the investigative team, and we were there for one, and it was absolutely amazing experiences. We went to Gettysburg with them, and it was
Yes.
Oh,
They went. That was their first time on an investigation. Was in
it was pretty. It was
Gettysburg.
wow. That's how you start.
there's really not a right or wrong answer, and don't ever be afraid to ask any kind of question, because they've seen everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
After 30 years, they've seen everything and heard every question,
And we know
learned something
nothing.
every time.
That's
Learn
true.
something every
We've seen
time.
everything and still don't know anything.
Yeah,
No.
it's consistently inconsistent.
I love it. That's a great motto. You guys should adopt.
When Joy and Robin were planning on coming, we'd asked them to come, and they had been on our show more than once because they've experienced things. They're experiencers, and we love hearing their stories, right? And so we coached them, and we were like, this isn't like TV where everything is happening and everything happens at once. We might be there all night and not get anything, so don't be disappointed.
Little did you know.
Place that we went, it was like, holy moly.
Why?
And then Gettysburg, right?
Yes.
It was like paranormal Christmas.
It was unbelievable. And I'm here and Joy upstairs, Beth and I and
Robin and Chris.
and
Yeah,
Robin
they're
and Chris
downstairs.
downstairs, right? And we hear Joy go, oh! And I'm like,
The first time something happened, I mean, it was
It's
like
like a
everything
happy
happened.
hour.
I almost knocked Jess in the head and knocked him. I was like, wow!
We
Yeah.
had little
After that, it was
catballs,
fun.
and there was a little boy up there, a little boy ghost, and there were cat balls on the floor, and he would run past them and light them up.
Oh my
You know?
goodness.
Yeah,
He
That's-
lit
It was
everything
fun.
up. He was lighting
everything.
up everything at the same time.
Everything.
Boom, like an answer. We would ask a question and it was like, woo!
Wow.
Which is why she almost
Was
knocked
the
my head
same
off.
way. And downstairs was the same way. All of the instruments
All at
were
the same
going off,
time. Yeah.
and we would
And
just be sitting talking.
Response to questions too.
Response to questions
Yes.
off the charts. The
Like you were
flashlight
having a
was turning on
conversation
and
with a
off,
normal
on and
person.
off, on and off.
Yes.
And and then we would be talking amongst ourselves, and then they would respond to what we were saying. We weren't even talking to them, but they were like,
Oh,
well,
wow.
I want to put my 2 cents worth in. And it was just fabulous. It was amazing. It was the best ever.
It was
Wow.
yes.
Chris Chrisman
Wow.
said, how many of you heard of a ghost following a person to a different house? Well,
They've been to our house.
they've been to our house. We
Yeah.
had one follow us all the way from
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And he stayed for 6 months. And everybody saw him. Jess saw him. Our other kids saw him. Everybody heard him.
He didn't pay rent, so he shipped him out.
He should,
Good
was
time.
Vacation.
oh yeah, it was really crazy. It was crazy time. He would shake the bed in the middle of the night.
Wow. Yeah, I don't want that.
You just reminded me of something with that.
But he was not negative at all, I have to tell you. He
Okay.
was shaking the bed to get our attention. He wasn't angry or anything like that. He just, I think he was just like, okay, everybody else has gone to bed. Why don't we stay up and talk? It's for him. Let's
Time to
spend some
party.
time together. But I wouldn't even wake up. So
Mhm.
didn't help.
But we do opening and closing before all our investigations now, where we clearly are like, no, please
Stay
stay
here.
here. You know, don't follow any of us home. I was going to ask that actually to you, Christy, as have there been any experiences since we've left, or how was the vibe after we left? Any difference, or has it been business as usual and everything's good?
It's been, well, the only difference that I've noticed is in the blank space, blank room.
Yeah.
Um, it my one of my employees, went upstairs. I honestly do not sense or feel any anger,
Mhm.
or
Mm-mm.
any kind of hostility or
Mm-mm.
anything. But the one employee that likes to chat with, hey everybody, I'm here, and she said that she went in that space. Now, like I said, my office, my desk is in there now. So I'm there all the time. She said she walked in and she turned around and walked out because she said, I felt something there and it scared me and I didn't like it. So I was like, okay, let me go check this out. So I go up the stairs after we close, after everything's locked,
Mhm.
and I walk in there and I just, there was nothing for me. So I don't know. That has been the only thing. Other than that, yeah, it's business as usual. I mean, we know our change got messed with the other day. It was pretty funny. So there were nickels that kept getting put in that. You know how you have a cash drawer
Mhm.
and you have the four little, change holders in the
Yeah.
front by the cash bills. So the nickels kept getting put in the penny side. Every time you close the drawer, when you opened it for change to give a customer, there were nickels in the penny side again.
Mm.
So, she was grabbing nickels. I was grabbing nickels, and I'm like,
Yeah.
really? It was
Yeah.
playful though. It wasn't.
Prankster kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that's yeah.
Spirit loves coins.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
love coins.
I guess
Yeah.
so. I guess so. I wonder if it's because they're older. Like some of them are older, and maybe they, I don't know. Maybe it's familiar to them. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
Yeah.
um, but
Well,
yeah,
I
that
don't think there's anything negative or angry there at all.
Mm.
okay. Okay.
Maybe,
No, but it can be startling if you're not expecting, and then you walk in somewhere, just like if you
Yeah.
walked in somewhere and there was a corporeal person standing there and you'd be like, oh, like startled me. I could see feeling that discomfort or unease if you sensed a person there and there was nobody there. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
if she
And
was
maybe
used to that room being empty and then all of a sudden there was a presence in there, she might have been
yeah.
thought she
Yeah.
wasn't welcome.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't. To me, it was just normal. That I didn't really, you know. So yeah, that's really been about it. Other than that, just the pranks and the fun and the
The
interesting
normal
stuff.
stuff.
The norm. Yes. So,
Good.
but
Was there an uptick after we left or no? Just normal.
No, that's what I was asking her. And she said, no.
well, the
Just normal.
change is interesting. I will tell you, I think with it happening over and over and over, that's more of a bold move, I will say, because usually the things I have on camera, it was one incident. And then a few weeks later, something else. I've never really had anything happen back to back to back like that. So that to me feels like, oh, hey, I'm here, and it's,
Mhm.
so maybe that's a little more of a bold move, I would say. And like I said, with her saying what she felt in the middle there, that kind of shocked me. Um, honestly though, we have been so busy lately. We're blessed and I love
Yay.
it.
That's a good
I've
That's a
spent
good
some
one.
time alone, but I've been so busy in that building when I've been alone in there that it's just it's been work. So,
Mhm.
but the change thing was a lot. I'm like, quit messing with my change. So,
Yeah.
Um, Marjorie said, or might a spirit take dislike to a particular person and not others? Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like,
That
they're
makes
people.
sense. That makes sense.
They're people too. So yeah, they can like some people and, not like others. Actually, the place where Gary is, the change is him saying, now that you know I'm here.
Well, now that you know I'm
Yeah.
here.
As Grossman said. Maybe he was protecting the blank room. Now your office, that could be too.
Oh,
I think that the last time that we're at that place where Gary is, we heard from a spirit that I don't think they ever hear from in that particular place, and he actually told our team things that had never been spoken before, and answered some questions. And when we were telling the docents that he was there and had wanted to talk to us and told them everything that he had to say, they said they'd been researching for a long time, and what we were telling them was giving them answers to those questions, which, was really good. And I'm looking forward to hearing from him again because I want to talk to him more about those things.
What I thought was interesting about him showing up was the other spirits that we do hear from took a step back.
They did?
This was a man who was the owner of the home. And
Yep.
it was all like they stepped back and let him say what he had to say. And then after
Yep.
he left, then the others stepped forward and started speaking. I thought that was really interesting.
I did too. Yep.
Totally different vibe too.
Yeah.
Yes, and we called him Mr. There was no laughing and joking. It was all very serious, and
Very serious. Mm-hmm.
he was very protective of his children, and it was good. It was good talking with him. I thought, I'm looking forward to interacting with him again. I hope he will remember us and talk. George Jasmuke said, "No pets, any thoughts? So just what does the spirit do for distraction for the first few thousand years?"
They like to mess with us.
Apparently, they mess with us. We're their TV and their music.
And I wonder too, like, does time progress on the other side the way it does here? Like, it could be a year for us and a month for them, or vice versa.
They don't seem to recognize time passing
No, it doesn't
the
seem
way
like
we
it.
do. They don't. They don't know they've been there for 300 years. Are you getting bored doing this every day for 300 years? Like 300 years.
I thought it was
Yeah.
yesterday that I laid down in my bed and all of a sudden I was here.
Yeah. So no, I don't think that's a problem for them.
And can I for people who are like listening to this and aren't familiar, like Jesse, when you were talking about the Estes method, you said he made me say, you don't mean he physically made you say, just so that they know that it was just,
Yeah.
this is what you
Nah,
heard
and
you spoken.
that's a
Yeah.
good point. I did not become his puppet.
His meat puppet.
Ew. No. Yeah, no. So what I mean by that is I have headphones on and I crank the volume up super loud. So I do not hear anything because I don't want to hear what anybody's saying. And then they're noise canceling headphones too. But so what's happening, what I'm hearing is like static white noise, but also it's flipping through FM radio stations. So I am hearing words that are being spoken on the radio. However, not all of those words are things that I'm like, oh, this is something that they want me to say. So I'll hear a lot of radio, like snippets from the radio. But it depends on where we are. I will hear, and I don't know, I feel like this is kind of different for everybody maybe, but the way it works for me is I will hear, sometimes it's like, it sounds like it's coming between layers, if that makes sense, between frequencies almost.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's very loud and it's very clear what they're
Mhm.
saying. Sometimes it feels quieter and I really have to work to hear what the words are that they're saying. But I kind of always figure, oh, and then I just kind of try to tune into that and tune into what words I'm hearing that feel like that's what they're trying to communicate. So I kind of, I don't know, you just feel it, and um, and then I'll say whatever it is that I'm hearing, and sometimes it makes a whole lot of sense to whatever they're asking me. Sometimes, some places we're not really getting responses. The responses don't make sense. Usually, and sometimes I don't get anything that I feel like. Um, is any kind of spirit or anything trying to communicate. I'm hearing lots of stuff on the radio, but none of it is anything that feels like something trying to
Relevant.
communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing relevant. And I will just sit there. I mean, y'all have been with me on investigations where I've sat there quiet for 15 minutes and I'm not saying a word because I'm not getting anything. Um, when there have been some like really cool experiences. I mean, like at May Stringer is the place that we were talking about with the spirit Gary, who seems like a vaudeville person. And of course, when he's like, he, um, he's having me sing and go, oh, it's very funny. And he also, when I am hearing these words, I am also sensing the like way that they want me to say it.
The
So
emotion behind the word.
yeah, like the personality behind it,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah.
like there's a tone. And so whereas somebody like that is very playful, um, the other spirit we were talking about was very like serious. We've had
Very serious.
others that came through kind of like annoyed with me, like
Annoyed with me
annoyed
because
with all of
my
us.
singing. Remember
Well,
that one?
Yeah, you have
that was
trouble.
Beth. That was Beth
Yeah, I
doing the
got in
S's. Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
Put it, put it, put
And
it.
when we were in uh Gettysburg, I heard a child, and it
Mhm.
was a child's voice, and you don't really hear children on the radio.
Mhm.
And so that was really impactful to me because, especially as a parent, but it was like a very small child's voice saying mommy. And it was, um, you could feel the emotion behind it. So yeah, so they're not using me like a puppet or like
Mhm.
I'm not like in some weird like trance or something where like
No.
not in control of my faculties or anything, but I'm just like listening, and it's kind of like they're sending a message in a different way that I can hear it, in other words. So
Chris Chrisman said, oh, no, sorry, that's Paul Hollis. I'll get to you in a minute, Paul. Chris Chrisman said, is being a sensitive something you think can be taught, or are some of us just born with it? I think it's like any creative thing. You can, not all of us are born singers and have wonderful voices, but everybody can be taught to sing, how to project their voice, and all that sort of thing. Same thing with art. Some people can just pick up, pencils or paint, and they can create art, and others of us have to be taught. And it's the same thing. I think it's a talent, and I definitely think everybody can learn how to do it. And if you want to do it, all you have to do is to sit quietly and meditate, and that really helps. And you can just sit there and meditate and see what comes through. Um, you know, as long as you're willing to hear something, if you don't want to hear something, then don't do that. But I
I
think
think
some
you
of
have
us
to be real observant too. I mean, you have to be
have
keyed
to,
into people and do things around you.
yep,
I mean,
Definitely.
Just be open and
present and
accepting.
open. Yes.
And practice doing it over and over and over. It becomes easier to you. So you open up a little bit more with practice.
And I go through times when I'm just shut down and I don't hear anything or feel anything. And I think it's because, I'm like, I don't feel like it.
Had enough.
I don't know. Paula says, if ghosts have no concept of time, can ghosts tell the future as in tomorrow's lottery numbers? Dang it, I wish they could, but no. I think mediums
That would
are
be
asked.
awesome.
And I
Yeah.
think all of us here want to say, we are not mediums. We are not fortune tellers. We can't. Oh, I don't want to say we can't say the future, if you see the future, because I know that we can at times see the future and the past and can tell if people are sick or stuff like that. But we're not mediums, is what
Not
I'm
on
trying to say.
demand.
Not on demand. It just
Right.
happens. The most bizarre things you'll
Weirdest
learn
things.
about somebody, and you'll be like,
What
I
was the
don't
point
really
of
want to
that?
say that
Yeah.
to that person, and you get feeling like you have to, and you do, and they're like, and it's weird stuff. Chris Chrisman said, being open is the most important thing. Yeah, and you can shut it off. You can turn it off when you need a rest.
Well, we've been rolling an hour and a half.
Wow, that
Again.
went fast.
That did.
Sorry, Christy, we kept you here a long time.
No, this has been great. I could talk all night. So thank you.
Oh, we'd love to come.
really appreciate you coming on the show, and we really loved the coffee shop. That was amazing, and it smelled amazing.
I know. We were all so sad not to have coffee.
I was like, I can't work. I'm distracted by the smell.
I stood there for like 45 minutes waiting for my cinnamon roll, and it never came.
But we would love to come and investigate again. We
And
would
we'd
love it.
also
And
like
we'd
to-
like you to be there.
I think it'd be really fun to get to go to the courthouse too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, if we could get in there, that'd be awesome too.
That'd be kind of cool.
The old courthouse,
The old
the one where you finally got to go upstairs.
Her video's frozen. I don't know if we
I
still
know,
have her.
she's frozen.
Frozen.
Chris Chrisman said, great show. Thanks, Christy, for being here. Amen.
Christy looks like permanently shocked or something.
Isn't that something? Is she in her building right now?
I
No,
don't know.
that's a screen behind her.
Okay.
Well, our next show is going to be on November 20th. That's the week before Thanksgiving. And here she comes, trying to
Come back.
go back over there.
Okay.
There we go. Boop.
There you
are.
go.
You're back.
Hey, sorry, I don't know what happened.
Frozen in time.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, especially this long.
Twice to us tonight.
Yeah.
We
Did
would
you hear
love to.
what we were saying?
Yeah.
Did you hear what we were saying? We were putting
I
our coffee
did not.
orders in.
We were saying we would love to come and investigate again if you would have us, and we would love you to be there
That's
when
wonderful.
we did. So if
I would
we can
love that.
arrange that, that'd be wonderful.
Perfect.
Should
I
we
would
bring
love that
coffee?
so much. I will
Go ahead.
caffeinate you, I promise. So, and thank you guys. I've never been on a podcast. This has been it. I feel like I'm talking to family for some reason. So it's been very
Aw.
amazing. And thank you for answering my questions. So
Oh,
thank you.
yeah.
Well,
This
I
is what we live for.
Any of our listeners, or if you find yourselves in Bartow, Florida, please stop into Unfiltered, because you will not regret it. It's a really amazing place.
So cool. Yeah.
Beautiful, with a
really,
lot of
really
vintage decor, and it's homey. It's lovely.
Oh yeah. Like you won't want to leave. And we didn't even get to try the coffee and the food, but I'm sure it's great.
You have to try things next time. Yes.
Yes.
To do that. So that would be awesome. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us to come into your lovely shop and
Yes.
investigate and get to know Billy and everybody. There's more than one spirit there.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait, honestly, to see if he does show himself more when I'm there. I think you might be onto something there. So
That'd be
I'm
cool.
sure that he will, and I'm sure that they will all answer your questions more quickly than they will answer ours. That's been proven over and over again. Like we said, we've now gone to May Stringers so many times that, you know, like Gary said, your family.
I think they're going to give us a key.
ah,
Let yourself in.
there you go. But they don't have coffee, right?
Right.
No.
They don't even have any place for us to sit except
No.
up in the attic.
We have to bring
Oh,
our own
Because
chairs.
it's a museum, so we can't sit
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. We were like, there's so many places to sit at your coffee shop. We were really excited.
I know. It was
Hey.
yeah, we came in and I'm sure that your friends thought we were a little wacky because we were like, can we sit on the chairs? And they said yes. And we're like,
You were excited. Oh, that's awesome.
oh my gosh, we can sit down.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Right, you didn't
thank-
come in the next morning and find us all asleep on the couches.
Yeah.
you know, honestly, after tonight, I would have been totally okay with that. So you're fine. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
thank you.
November 20th is the next podcast, 7:30 Eastern time.
Anybody with any true ghost stories, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on the show.
Otherwise, we'll be talking about our next two investigations. The
Next
one
three.
we got. Okay.
We have 2 on Saturday and then one the next
Oh yeah,
Saturday.
there's 2 on Saturday.
Two
There's an-
businesses, and then we'll be back at the museum.
Yeah.
Week after that.
Marjorie says, thanks
Where
for
we
another
belong.
very interesting podcast, everyone. Have a happy Halloween.
I know.
Same
Happy
to you as
Halloween.
well.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
You know what? Nobody asked about, do you see more ghosts or spirits on Halloween? I really expected you guys to ask that question.
We do in our
Christy can
neighborhood.
let us all know.
Right.
in front of all the houses.
We can talk about that next podcast, whether the veil actually is thinner during that time or not.
Right.
You know.
Oh, that's a good one.
So, I guess until next time.
Good night, everybody.
So, folks,
Good night,
good
everyone.
night.
Bye.
Thank you, Christy.